Invoice payment terms define when a customer must pay for goods or services. Several options exist, each with its own implications for cash flow and customer relationships. Firstly, net 10, meaning payment is due within 10 days of the invoice date. This is a relatively short payment window, suitable for situations where you need quick access to funds. Secondly, net 30, requiring payment within 30 days of the invoice date. This is a more standard term, balancing the need for timely payment with the customer's ability to manage their finances. Thirdly, net 45, which extends the payment deadline to 45 days after the invoice date. This provides customers with a longer payment window and can be used to foster stronger relationships, especially with larger clients. Fourthly, net 60, giving customers 60 days to pay. This extended term is typically offered to well-established clients or in industries where longer payment cycles are common. Then there is due on receipt. This means payment is expected immediately upon the customer receiving the invoice. This term is often used for smaller transactions or when dealing with new customers. Another option is COD, which means cash on delivery. Payment is due when the product or service is delivered. This is common in retail or situations where there is a high risk of non-payment. Next there is EOM, which means end of month. Payment is due at the end of the month following the invoice date. This simplifies accounting for both parties, as payments are aligned with monthly cycles. Progress payments involve partial payments due at specific milestones in a project. This is common for large projects to ensure steady cash flow throughout the project lifecycle. Then there is prepayment, meaning payment is due before the product or service is delivered. This reduces the risk for the seller and is often used for custom orders or high-value items. To encourage faster payments, consider offering net 30 with a 10% discount for payment within 10 days, written as N/30, 10/10. This incentivizes customers to pay early by offering a small discount. To discourage late payments, you could also implement net 30 with a 2% late payment fee, N/30, 2%. This penalizes late payments and encourages customers to adhere to the agreed-upon payment schedule. Furthermore, consider extended terms offering payment periods beyond the standard net terms, such as net 60 or net 90. This can be useful for attracting and retaining larger clients with longer payment cycles. Escrow involves a third party holding payment until certain conditions are met. This provides security for both buyer and seller, especially in complex transactions. A letter of credit is a bank guarantee payment under certain conditions. This is often used in international trade to ensure payment for goods or services. A payment plan is an agreed-upon schedule of partial payments over time. This can make larger purchases more accessible for customers and ensure a steady stream of income for the seller. Finally, negotiated terms are terms agreed upon between the buyer and seller that may deviate from the standard terms. This allows for flexibility and customization to meet the specific needs of both parties. When choosing terms of payment, consider the cash flow needs of the business. Assess how quickly funds are needed to cover expenses and reinvest in the business. Research industry norms for your type of services or products. Understand the standard payment terms in your industry and adjust accordingly to remain competitive. Offer incentives for early payment to encourage prompt payment and improve cash flow. Penalize late payments to discourage delayed payments and ensure timely receipt of funds. Clearly state the terms of payment on the invoices to avoid confusion and ensure both parties are aware of the payment expectations. When evaluating payment terms, think about your operational costs. Understand your expenses and when they are due to make sure the chosen terms allow you to meet your obligations. Consider the size of your invoices. Larger invoices might warrant longer payment terms to accommodate customer budgets. Smaller invoices may justify shorter payment terms due on receipt. Think about the creditworthiness of your customers. Established customers with a good payment history may be offered more flexible terms. New customers, others with a questionable credit history, may require stricter terms like COD or prepayment. Analyze the competitive landscape and see what terms are offered by your competitors and consider how your payment terms impact your competitiveness. When establishing terms, automate the invoicing process using accounting software to streamline invoicing and payment tracking. Also, communicate clearly with customers about the payment terms upfront before services are rendered or products are delivered. Consider using late payment reminders to send automated reminders to customers when invoices are overdue. Evaluate implementing early payment discounts, offering a small percentage off the invoice total for payments made before the due date. Consider late payment fees and clearly state that late payment fees will be applied to overdue invoices. Tailor payment terms to specific clients to consider offering customized payment terms based on the client's size, relationship, and payment history. Offer multiple payment options such as credit cards, electronic funds transfers, or online payment platforms to make it easy for customers to pay. Seek legal advice to consult with an attorney to ensure that your payment terms comply with applicable laws and regulations. Review your payment terms periodically, perhaps every year. Assess the effectiveness of your payment terms and make adjustments as needed to optimize cash flow and customer relationships. Some other types of payment terms could include conditional sales, where the seller retains ownership of the goods until full payment is received. Milestone billing involves billing customers at predetermined project milestones. Recurring billing charges customers regularly for ongoing services or subscriptions. Installment plans allows customers to pay for purchases in installments over time, often with interest. Factoring or invoice discounting sells outstanding invoices to a third party at a discount to receive immediate cash. Supply chain financing involves a financial institution providing financing to suppliers based on the buyer's creditworthiness. Remember that the best payment terms are those that strike a balance between your needs and the needs of your customers, so communication and flexibility can play a significant role in maintaining positive relationships. For progress payments, clearly define the milestones and corresponding payment amounts in the project contract. Establish a system for tracking milestone completion and generating invoices promptly. Communicate with the client throughout the project to keep them informed of progress and address any potential delays. For prepayments, specify the percentage or amount of the prepayment required. Explain the rationale behind the prepayment requirement, such as covering upfront costs or securing resources. Provide a clear timeline for when the product or service will be delivered after the prepayment is received. For early payment discounts, clearly state the discount percentage and the deadline for early payment. Promote the benefits of early payment to customers, such as saving money and improving their credit rating. Ensure that the discount is applied correctly on the invoice and payment confirmation. For late payment fees, clearly state the late payment fee percentage or amount and the date when it will be applied. Send a reminder notice to customers before the late payment fee is applied. Enforce the late payment fee consistently to discourage future late payments. For extended terms, evaluate the customer's creditworthiness and payment history before offering extended terms. Set a clear limit on the maximum extension allowed to avoid excessive delays in payment. Monitor the customer's payment behavior closely and adjust the terms if necessary. For escrow, establish a clear escrow agreement that outlines the conditions for releasing the funds. Choose a reputable escrow provider to ensure secure and impartial management of the funds. Communicate regularly with the buyer and seller to keep them informed of the escrow process. For letters of credit, work with a reputable bank to issue and manage the letter of credit. Ensure that the letter of credit terms are clear and consistent with the underlying transaction. Comply with all the documentation requirements of the letter of credit to avoid delays in payment. For payment plans, establish a clear payment schedule that outlines the amount and due date of each installment. Set up automated payment reminders to notify customers of upcoming payments. Monitor the customer's payment performance and take appropriate action if payments are missed. For negotiated terms, document all negotiated terms in writing and have both parties sign the agreement. Ensure that the negotiated terms are consistent with applicable laws and regulations. Review the negotiated terms periodically and make adjustments as needed. Also remember to be aware of applicable laws and regulations regarding payment terms, such as consumer protection laws and usury laws. Consult with a legal professional to ensure compliance. Keep accurate records of all invoices, payments, and communications with customers. This will help resolve any disputes and ensure proper accounting. Use accounting software to automate invoicing, payment tracking, and reporting. This will save time and improve accuracy. Establish a clear process for handling overdue invoices, including sending reminders, assessing late payment fees, and pursuing collections if necessary. Building strong relationships with customers to foster trust and communication. This can lead to more flexible payment arrangements and fewer payment disputes.